Moving on to AI, Peter was here earlier and discussed how, as of right now, NVDA is the only firm that truly profits from AI. Do you already have an idea of where you believe AI will find its most significant applications? Will it make self-driving possible? Will enabling robots be involved? Are industries being transformed by it? As far as the large corporate impact is concerned, I believe it is still early. Have you developed a sense yet? I mean, I believe that they are spending more on AI than they are now making. There is no doubt about it. Well, but AI is developing at a significantly faster rate than any other technology I've ever seen. For instance, there was a time when the Turing test was used. You know, your simple, open-source random LLM that runs on a Raspberry Pi is definitely capable of passing the Turing test. In fact, I believe that the positive future of AI will be one of great wealth, with an era of plenty and no shortage of commodities and services. Everyone is free to have everything they choose, with the exception of items that we make scarce, such as unique works of art. However, I believe that with the development of artificial intelligence and robotics, the cost of goods and services will eventually approach zero. This applies to anything that is created or rendered. Everyone will be able to have anything they desire, albeit I'm not suggesting it will be zero. Naturally, that is the bright future, and in my opinion, it is about 80% plausible. On the plus side, there is a mere 20% chance of annihilation. What does that look like? Nothing, is the 20%. Man, I have no idea. To be honest, I do need to intentionally suspend my disbelief in AI to some extent in order to get a good night's sleep. Even so, I believe that the real problem, the most likely one, is how we find purpose in a world where artificial intelligence, AI, can perform any tasks that humans can perform just a little bit better. Perhaps the greater difficulty lies in that is. However, I know an increasing number of individuals who are retired now, and they appear to be content with their lives. However, I believe that there might be a crisis of meaning, since the machine can do everything that you can do a little better. That can be a difficulty. However, in reality, you require the following end factors: autonomous vehicles and humanoid or general-purpose robots. But you truly can construct anything once you have driverless cars, general-purpose humanoid robots, and so on. I believe there is no real cap on the size of the economy thanks to this. The mass of the Earth, for example, is certainly one limit. The economy, however, is actually just the average productivity per person multiplied by the whole population. And if you have humanoid robots that are capable of doing things like this, and if there isn't a real cap on the quantity of them, and if they are able to function with a high degree of intelligence, then the economy has no real boundaries. The economy has no real boundaries. Colossus, which is presumably the biggest private compute cluster of GPUs in the world, was just turned on by you guys. Is that correct? It's the most potent supercomputer of any kind, which in a way supports both David's and Peter's assertions that NVIDIA has reaped the majority of the financial benefits of artificial intelligence to date. However, there are others who have other options, and you are now one of them, because Dogo is primarily about pictures, large photos, massive videos. You have a really special case. Indeed, there are differences between the Tesla problem and the LLM situation. Actually, the nature of intelligence is different, and the things that matter in AI are different as well. Regarding the topic you just raised, the context length in Tesla's situation is quite lengthy. We therefore have gigabytes of context windows. Indeed, you have a great deal of context because you have, 7 cameras, which is why we're now bringing it up. There are billions of bits of context. Additionally, you will need to compress if you have multiple high-def cameras, such as 1 minute, as that amounts to gigabytes. The challenge for Tesla is to condense a vast amount of context into the pixels that are truly important, and reduce that over time. Accordingly, you have to compress the pixels in space, and the pixels over time in both the time and space dimensions, and then have that inference done on a tiny computer, relatively speaking, a small, a few hundred watt, Tesla-designed AI infer computer, which is still the best by far. We could not purchase anything better from suppliers. By the way, the AI inference machine that Tesla has built inside its cars is superior to anything we could purchase from any vendor. That is somewhat of a by the way. The AI team at Tesla is excellent. One of your team members from Tesla produced a technical paper and a deck, and I thought they were really amazing. You created your own Ethernet transport control layer. Oh, Ethernet isn't good enough for us, you say. You're thinking, oh, we're just going to reinvent Ethernet and string these chips after having this TTS or something. There is some pretty amazing stuff going on there. Yes, well, no. The staff is really, really good, especially the Tesla chip design team. Theoretically, you might say, oh, why not? But is there a world where, for instance, other people over time need some sort of, like, video use case or image use case? I have some more cycles over here, you know. So you should be able to compete with NVDA. Although it's not purposeful in and of itself, I do mean the training and inference, and at Tesla, we do have two of those two initiatives. We have Dogo, which is the training computer, and then, well, our inference chip, which is in the infer computer of every single car. So we've only had Dogo 1 so far. Dogo 2 should be available in volume by the end of the following year, you know. Additionally, we believe that this will be somewhat similar to a training system of the A100 kind. Additionally, there is, I suppose, some possibility that that may be utilized as a service. But also like you, Dogo is just sort of like, we're so I suppose I have more faith in Dogo now. However, I don't think it will be until version 3 that we will truly know how good Dogo is. For example, a technology typically undergoes 3 significant iterations before it is considered exceptional, and next year we'll only see the second significant iteration. I'm not sure, but the third iteration might be late minus 26, or something like that. How is the Optimus project progressing? I recall that you mentioned in public during our most recent conversation that it's being used for some light testing inside the factory. So it's really doing something useful. For anything like that at scale, what is the material construct, and when you know? What would the Model 3 cost, in your opinion, if you started manufacturing it now and 1 million of them were coming off the assembly line? Would it be $20,000, $30,000, or $40,000? Consider? Yes. What I mean is that I've actually found that anything produced in large enough quantities would eventually approach the cost of its materials. Now, there are, I should say, some things that are limited by the expense of intellectual property, such as paying for patents and other things. Therefore, a large portion of what is in a chip is equivalent to paying royalties and chip depreciation. However,